Asking for help is never a sign of weakness. It's actually the strongest thing that you could possibly do. Welcome to episode number 34 of Real&Raw Conversations with Shalina. And in this episode, I'm going to be giving you my top 15 reasons why you should probably consider going to therapy. And they are in no particular order. So this episode is for you or for somebody who you know might need support. So if you need help with any of the reasons that I talk about tonight and anything that I may not have mentioned, you are most welcome to contact me through Facebook. If you're watching through YouTube, come over to my Facebook. You can contact me there. You know I'm a counsellor. I'm a life and career coach as well. And you can send me a DM on Facebook. And if you want, we can book in a free 20-minute phone call. And you can find out if I'm the right fit for you. And you can book your sessions directly with me if you feel comfortable. So our conversations are strictly confidential between you and me, so you don't have to worry. So let's go. Reason number one, why I think you should go to therapy. Well, you have problems with your in-laws or your extended family. So you can't control what your in-laws or your extended family say or how they feel about you. You obviously cannot take them to therapy. Maybe this is interfering in your marriage, your relationship. Maybe your husband or your wife expects you to only cater to their side of the family and they want you to forget about your own. What this means is that you need to find a way to manage this. You need to create boundaries, formulate responses, and become resilient so that you can deal with this situation. So the right counselor or coach is definitely going to help you with that. Definitely going to help you with that and help you with many aspects of your in-law issues or your extended family issues, right? And you might be thinking, well, it's not my fault they are acting like this. Why should I go to therapy? Well, as I said, you cannot control another person's thoughts and behaviors. You can only control yours. So going to therapy can help you manage your reactions and your thought process so that another person cannot hurt you. So just think about that. Number two, why you should go to therapy. You have issues at work. Think about it. Are you underperforming? Are you not able to meet deadlines? Are you not getting along with workmates? Are you being bullied or discriminated against? Are you finding it hard to connect with your workmates or your bosses? You feel like the job's doesn't suit you or it's too stressful. You're being gossiped about. Going to therapy is actually going to teach you techniques with how to deal with these situations. It's going to help you manage your stresses. It's going to teach you coping strategies for any of the things that I just mentioned. It's going to teach you coping strategies for anxiety, for depression, for the stresses. It's going to teach you how to overcome challenges in your workplace, communication issues, priorities, goal setting, you name it. Going to therapy can help you with these things. So it'll also help you become more confident in addressing issues that might be arising in your workplace. So giving therapy a try when it comes to issues at work can really, really be beneficial. You might even start loving your job. Who knows? All right. Issue number 3, why I think you should go to therapy. Problems in the bedroom. So answer these questions for me. Do you have poor self-esteem or poor body image issues which prevent you from wanting to be intimate in the bedroom? Do you have financial or work stress or any other mental health disorder? Are you on medication or do you have any other medical issues that you need help in managing? Do you have flashbacks or intrusive thoughts? Do you have performance anxiety? And what could this performance anxiety be due to? Is there a lack of connection with your partner? Do you have unresolved arguments or fights? Do you find it hard to communicate in the bedroom? Are you constantly thinking about sex and is it taking a toll on you? So if you have answered yes to anything that I have just asked, and if there's anything else, speak to a counselor or a relationship coach or a sex therapist or expert. This will do your sex life and your relationship wonders. There's nothing to be ashamed about here. We all like to get intimate. But a side note, being pressured or being forced into doing something that you don't want to do in the bedroom is sexual abuse. Whether you're married or you are not, if you are being forced into sex or any sexual activities against your will, that is sexual abuse, that is rape, and that is a crime. And if there is anybody watching right now who thinks that my partner owes me sex, that is a big fat no. Nobody in this world owes you sex. So if there's anything, if there's anyone else out there who has pressured or forced their partner into having sex with them, you have committed a crime. That is a crime, and it is punishable by law. So what I've said applies to both men and women, regardless of gender. Anybody can be a victim to sexual abuse, and anybody can be a predator. So rape and marital rape, they are one and the same. So a legal piece of paper does not change the concept or the meaning of rape, whether you're married or not. So just keep that in mind. All right, the next one. The next reason why I think you should start going to therapy. You notice red flags in your relationship. If you start noticing anything that I'm about to say, right? Anything that I'm about to say, and apologies if I'm not looking directly at the camera. I've got my notes on my screen as well. If you start seeing any of these, you should go to therapy, a relationship counselor, whoever you need to get help from, right? And we are trained to help you create a safety plan to get out of this situation or to deal with these situations, but it all depends on what it is that you want. So if your partner is excessively using alcohol or smoking or drugs, if your partner has anger issues, including throwing things and yelling and screaming, if your goals do not align with your partners, if both of you have very different goals in life, if your parenting styles do not align, which can be quite harmful for your children as well, if your partner is spiritually abusing you, which means that your partner does not accept your religion and instead makes fun of it, if your partner asks you about where you spend your money and tries to control it, if your partner expects you to work or not to work before or after kids, or even if you don't have kids, if your partner and you want kids or don't want kids, if you've got different goals on that, if your partner is with you for visa and you have a feeling in your heart, hey, I think my partner might be using me for visa. Does your partner want kids or want to get married really quickly? These are things that can actually be a red flag. Does your partner talk really bad about your family or your friends, or they want you to cut your family or friends off? These are all red flags. There's a lot more, but I'm just giving you ideas of what could be red flags. Anything that does not sit right with you. Anything that happens and you think, my God, I don't want to go through this. I don't enjoy this. I don't want this. These are red flags. So if you are going through any of this or anything else that is not right, is not comfortable for you, speak to a counselor. Please, please, please. All right, the next one. The next reason why I think you should go to therapy. You find it hard to say no. So do you find it hard to be assertive and create boundaries? Do you find it hard to say no? You can't find the right words maybe to get your point across. Or you might feel like people keep walking all over you all the time. Do people seem to keep saying things that hurt you over and over? Go to therapy. This is what we are trained to do. We help you identify why and where this is coming from, why you might have an issue saying no and being assertive. We help you find ways to address this. So there's always a deeper meaning for why you do what you do. So if you are finding it hard to say no, please, please, please consider going to therapy, because there will be a reason why this is happening. All right, number six reason why you should possibly go to therapy. People are telling you that you need it. Has this happened to you? It happened to me quite a number of years ago. It happened to me. So lived experience here. Are people around you telling you that you need support? Is there more than one person telling you this? So, you might be hearing this from your friends, from your boss, from your children, maybe from your partner, whoever, your brother, your sister. If people are telling you that you need therapy, It means that the outside people, the outsiders can actually see that you are struggling with something. And the problem is, we seem to become very defensive as soon as we are told that we need help, because it seems to be a sign of weakness that we need help. It almost feels like it's a kick to our ego, because asking for help is a sign of weakness to some people. Getting help is not shameful, and it's a sign of strength, as I said before. Not getting help means that you are not ready to accept that something's wrong and that you can't handle the situation on your own. So the same people who are telling you that you need help could actually be the same people that you are harming by not getting help. So think about that. There's a reason why people are telling you that they need help. Maybe they've tried their best to help you and they just don't know what to do. There could be many reasons why they're telling you, but please listen to that. Once again, there is no shame ever in getting help. All right, number 7, you have anger issues. Do you ever feel like you are threatened or attacked easily? Do you feel frustrated, like you are not being treated fairly? Maybe you feel like you're backed against a corner and you need to fight. Or do you lose your cool? Do you lose your composure and your control with your children or your family members or your spouse? Do you yell and abuse your partner? Perhaps you went through something really traumatic as a child and you never addressed it. That's quite a number of people. Psychologists estimate that about 85% of people worldwide have gone through trauma, which means that anything that you might be going through right now, somebody else has most likely lived it. And even though we feel like we're the only ones in this world who are going through it, you are not the only one at all. Do you feel disrespected or like the world is constantly against you? Have you misinterpreted a situation without understanding it in full and it led to a really big argument? Maybe you grew up in an environment that, where anger and violence was accepted or was the only way that situations were dealt with. Maybe you think you have to react when you're angry. And a lot of people feel that. They think that, oh, I'm angry, I must do something. What if I told you that you can be angry and peaceful at the same time? You can actually be both. You don't have to react. Maybe, whatever it is, go to therapy. Dealing with your anger will change your life. You will learn tips and techniques. You will go deeper into where this anger comes from, and you will learn how to release it. So this is not about going to therapy when you are angry. It's not about, I can't be angry anymore. I can't feel anger. No. You want to be mad, get angry. You be mad. You do you. But there's a healthy and safe way to release anger, and that is what we teach you when you come to therapy. So there's no shame, once again, if you do go through these things and you feel angry, there's no shame, but please go to therapy if you need to. All right, number 8, rather. You are a parent who could be causing your child trauma. Hey, this is something I talk about quite a lot. Parents, this one's for you. We are all susceptible to intergenerational trauma. For children and adults, this is so often the root of our anger, the parents who refuse to go to therapy. So parents, if your children is acting in a certain way or saying things or maybe even complaining about your parenting style, if your child has shut down or is not talking or communicating, or maybe your child is acting completely normal because they're scared of you, maybe it's you. Maybe you did something or have continuously done something to cause your child trauma. So answer these questions. If you're not sure how you could have caused your child trauma, answer these questions for me. As above, do you lose your temper often? Do you swear and call your children names? Do you hit them? Do you embarrass them? Do you listen to them with the intent to understand? Do you force your child to study all the time? Do you give your child space to talk about their emotions and release their emotions? Do you give them space to do that? Or do you shut down their emotions and tell them, don't be sad, don't be angry, don't be mad? What is it that you're doing? Do you yourself have unresolved trauma? Has your child told you that you need help? Are you ready to accept that you, as a parent, could actually be causing your child trauma? And I'm going to tell you right now, more than often, it is the parent who causes their child trauma. And it is so, so, so detrimental. This actually leads me to number 9. This leads me to number 9. You should go to therapy if you have been through trauma. It goes without saying, but obviously I had to put this in the list. If you have gone through trauma, you would also possibly maybe have post-traumatic stress disorder or complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So remember, and please take this in, trauma is an overwhelming demand that is placed on the physiological human system. Trauma is an altered state of mind, a rush of energy through your body, and your body doesn't know where to send this rush of energy, right? This is your emotional and physical and spiritual response to a terrible event. So this can lead to PTSD, as I said, or complex trauma. So a terrible event, right? A terrible event is different for me and you. So a terrible event can be something like death, loss of a job, loss of a loved one, a car crash, robbery, loss of a valuable item, domestic violence, family violence, forced marriage, forced studies, when parents force their children to study things that they don't want to study, abortion, stillbirth, illness, injury, incarceration, war, you name it. You name it. If you have gone through trauma and it is not addressed, you will most likely have PTSD, and you will pass it on to your children. That is through an epigenetic process. If you do not seek help, you will suffer, and so will the people around you. So this is what is called intergenerational trauma. And a lot of us, especially in the Indian community, we suffer it a lot because our parents never address their trauma. And most of the time, children who go to therapy, they have to go because their parents didn't go. It's a continuous cycle. We have to break that at some point. We have to break it. Trauma can be helped, but you have to be willing to seek that help. All right. Number 10. If you have thoughts of self-harm or self-defeating behaviors, or if you are abusing substances. So sometimes people self-harm as a mean to gain control in an area that they may have lost somewhere. So some people, they cut themselves, they drink, they smoke, they do drugs, they do self-defeating behaviors to attain a feeling of control, something that they have lost, something to make them feel numb, something to help them cope in this world that to them is a very cold world. So they do these things to attain a feeling that they think they cannot get without doing these things, to numb it. So if you are self-harming, if you are thinking of self-harming, if you are doing self-defeating behaviors, things like, driving really fast, these are self-defeating behaviors. Go to counseling, go to therapy, because we help you identify patterns of thinking and behave, and your patterns of thinking, your negative patterns of thinking. We help you to identify where it comes from, and we help you to reframe and retrain your mind, and we help you to create behaviors that will help you to cope with these feelings of self-harm or self-defeating behaviors. So please come to therapy, come and talk to us. We are here for you. All right. Number 11, you're a manager, supervisor, or leader. So maybe you're new to the role. Maybe people aren't taking you seriously, or maybe you're not sure how to deal with conflict or confronting issues. People have made complaints, maybe, about your leadership style. Your team is not performing as how they're supposed to be. Maybe you feel pressured to perform. Come to therapy. Come on over. We help you identify areas of improvement. We help you to become an effective leader, how to deal with staff, how to deal with stress. Remember, therapy is not just for mental health disorders. Therapy is for behaviors. Therapy is a tool to help you improve. Coming to therapy can actually make you a better, stronger, more empathetic, more person-focused leader. It can. And we also help you with organizational skills, prioritizing things. We help you with all that. Whatever you need to be a leader, we help you with that. So come to therapy. You've got nothing to lose. You absolutely don't. All right. Number 12. This one happens all the time. People, they're not sure if they need therapy. They're wondering, like, is it worth it? Will it make me feel better? Or some people are actually not sure if their problem is even a problem. You're sitting there wondering, like, is this an issue? The fact that you're questioning if it's an issue probably means that it is an issue. So come on over. Whatever it is, don't think for 1 second that you will be wasting the time of a counselor or a psychologist. You're not wasting your time, because we are going to sit there with you and question you. We are trained to ask you the right questions in order to get the answers. So don't think that you'll be sitting in a therapy session with nothing to say. We will give you plenty of things to think about and say, don't you worry. But we are trained and have the knowledge to ask you the right questions. So just come. We will find out exactly what is bothering you. We will. All right. Number 13, you're anxious about the future. So this means that you are anxious about something that's about to happen. So it could be a birth, could be a death, it could be a new job, you're relocating, could be a divorce, a marriage, change of school, going from school to university. You could be having anxiety over this. Maybe you're going on an overseas trip and you've had a really bad experience before. Maybe you're moving overseas, or you're going on a date and you're scared. You name it, whatever it is that you're going to be doing in the next couple of days, weeks, or months, or years, you name it, anything that new that is bringing you anxiety and fear, let's talk. I guarantee you we can definitely sort this out. So let's talk. All right. Number 14, reasons why you should probably go to therapy is you want to learn how to help people. Really. We all need skills to learn how to help people. And maybe you're going to be working with people from various backgrounds. Maybe you're active in the community already. Come to us. Let us help you so that you can help other people. That's what we're here for. Maybe you just want to understand your children or your mom or your dad. You want to understand the people around you. Maybe you've adopted a child and you want to understand how their brain works. Maybe you want to understand how to react to certain situations, or you want to understand yourself. Why do I react the way I react? Whatever it is, give therapy a try. I'm sure you'll find the answer there. All right. Number 15, last one. You've messed up. You've made a mistake and you're living with a lot of regret, guilt, shame, blame. You dug yourself into a hole. Maybe with a partner, maybe with a colleague, maybe with a parent, maybe in the community, wherever. And you need help in restoring your image or repairing a relationship. You may have feelings of guilt or shame, anger. Don't worry. We're not here to judge you for what you did. We're here to help whatever situation you're in right now become better. We're not here to judge you for anything. That's not our job. Is not to judge you. So please, if you are afraid of judgments, please do not let that be the reason you don't go to therapy. You could be missing out on living such a wonderful life. All right, special mentions. These are things that I did not mention previously, but are quite obvious as to why you should probably go to therapy. If you have been bullied or faced racism and it has affected you and it still affects you, I went through this. I know what this feels like. Go to therapy. If you are a single parent who is finding it tough, going to a parenting coach or a counselor can definitely help. If you were abandoned as a baby by one parent or both parents, if you grew up without a parent, your mom or your dad, like I grew up without my dad, go to therapy. It can really, really, really help. I went through this. I know how this feels. If you had really, really strict, controlling parents and you are still feeling the effects of that, which means that a lot of people, they still feel the effects of having controlling parents because in their minds, they still think that they're supposed to conform to certain people. They might be afraid of authorities or bosses. They may not know how to create boundaries and be assertive. Having strict controlling parents can actually lead to not being able to function or not being able to create boundaries and be assertive. So come to therapy. If you were ever body shamed, made fun of for the way that you looked, your weight, your height, your skin color, people are making fun of people's skin colors. If you still feel self-conscious or lack confidence, come to therapy. If you have recurring dreams or thoughts or flashbacks of a person, event, or memory, come to therapy. There'll be a reason for that too. Like I said, you do not have to have a mental health issue such as anxiety or depression to come to therapy. It doesn't have to be related to that. It can be, as I mentioned, it can be work related. There is no issue too big or too small, too insignificant or too major that should stop you from going to therapy. It's life-changing. And it's not just you who benefits from going to therapy. It's, your relationships improve with yourself, most importantly, your children, your family, your kids, your partner, if you take the chance. But remember, when you come to therapy, when you decide to go to see whether it's a psychiatrist, a counselor, a therapist, a psychologist, a life coach, a parenting coach, whoever, whatever it is that you choose to do, remember that we are just a guide. We guide you. We are a reflection of you. We are helping you, right? But the real work actually comes from you, and you have to want to change. You have to be willing to remove your negative ego. You have to be willing to transform if that's what you want. Be willing to put an effort in managing negative behaviors. You also need to be willing to accept that your behaviors might be contributing to the issue that you are facing right now. And it could be affecting other people as well. It could be you. I'm not saying it always is, but a lot of times we create our own misery. It's unfortunate, but it happens. We do it to ourselves. That's why we need help. Also, please don't give up on the first or second or third therapist if they are not the right one. It takes time to find the right therapist. You might be lucky and find them the first time. You may not be lucky and you might find them on the fifth time, right? But there is always somebody out there for you. So reach out to me if you need help. You know where I am. If it's not me that you feel a connection with, whoever it is that you do feel a connection with, go with them. You can reach out to me if you need help. You know where I am. But for now, take care of your mind and your body and your soul. And I will see you in the next episode, all right? If you do want to reach out to me and you want to talk to me about anything that I've spoken about tonight or anything else, feel free to send me a DM and I can book you in for a free 20-minute call. You can get to know me. You can decide yourself if I'm the right fit for you. That's your call. No obligation, no pressure, and the conversation stays between you and me. All right? So thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next episode. And please share this with whoever it is that may need to hear this message. Bye for now.